Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum and a very good early morning from Dubai to the distinguished panelist and participant of the conference. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mainuddin. Currently, I'm on PhD Finance from Putra Business School, University Putra, Malaysia. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the committee of the conference for giving me this opportunity to present the conceptual paper related to my research under the topic of social efficiency of microfinance providers. The presentation outline will be, we will start from introduction and background, we'll go to the rational literature review to build the story, to build the case, and then we will discuss the issue, and at the end we will summarize it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's imagine if there is no poverty in this world and everybody lives the same quality of good life. It may sound a bit hyperbolic or too unrealistic because to get rid of poverty in a flesh, yes, that is impossible. But to reduce poverty step by step until it no longer exists in the entire world, specifically in the developing country, yes, it can definitely be done. Is mandated by the United Nations 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda also. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what this study, this research is all about. As shown by the many world's organization, bodies and institutions, that poverty, poor economic growth and poverty are still the most critical issue for the entire world, especially for the developing country. Like as per the Global Multi-Dimensional Poverty Index 2019, half of the world populations are still on less than $2.5 per day. Where from the data of 101 countries, 1.3 billion people all multi-dimensionally poor. These people are poor not because they are lazy, but because they do not have sufficient access to credit, to loan, to start their business and generate their own income. So that is why the governments of the developing country agreed that one of the reputed and recognized tool to reduce poverty is microcredit and microfinance. Microcredit is a tool used to reduce poverty, while microfinance is a system, as a sector, as the whole sector where every poor and near poor person has access to credit. It's formally started in 1970 and has been considered as a financial innovation. In the 70s, from Bangladesh by Dr. Muhammad Yunus, with the basic objectives of poverty reduction and women empowerment, with providing three basic production products like microcredit, microinsurance, and saving accounts. An institutional perspective, as per the in 2015, September 2015, United Nations General Assembly, where they embraced the 2030 Sustainable Development Agenda to strengthen the ecosystem to ensure its benefits for the current and future generation, where they established 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And as per the UNCFD, 8 out of those 17 SDGs are directly linked with my borrower or poverty perspective. Till 2019, as per Microfinance Barometer, 139.9 million people have been benefited from the sector, where 80% are women and 65% are from the rural area. So we see how much importance has been given by the institution to the sector and the sector to the poor people to reduce the poverty. But still, there are opportunities available, like mentioned by Thomas and others, that approximately there are 200 million micro and medium and small SMEs enterprises. They do not have sufficient access to credit. Well, what have been provided and what are their requirements still, which is a huge gap. But also microfinance facing different challenges like commercialization, high interest rate, aggressive marketing, competition, loan collection, fear of default, misuse of loan, etc. So as the focus of the study is on Pakistan, so because we will just discuss a bit our context, having more than 212 million population, and as per the British Economist, Union is one of the next 11 countries having the potential to be the largest economy of the 21st century. And also, as per some, Malik and other, that as compared to its neighbor, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and India, Pakistan is a newcomer to the era of microfinance because it started in 1980s, but still has the mature and the best microfinance system with three parallel parts, like microfinance banks, institution, and rural support program. So Pakistan also give preference to microfinance to reduce poverty from the country. And as per the data, Pakistan microfinance net from 2014 to 2019, the number of borrower increased from 2.4 million to 7.3, while the gross loan portfolio from 400 million to 2 billion. So it means it shows a 400% increase. Means along with specific problems issue like natural disaster, political instability, regional conflicts, crisis, issues with neighbors, still microfinance in Pakistan shows a tremendous growth. But still opportunities are there, as mentioned by Basharat and Sheikh, that the total Pakistani market for microfinance sector is 20 million, but only one third have been achieved. It's still two third are available. And also Pakistan, microfinance of Pakistan facing the same challenges like the other developing countries, at regulation, high competitions, fear of default, etc. But if we can see it on one side that it shows a tremendous growth, but on the other side, if we see the basic objective that how much has been achieved, no, it's not. It's not like this. We are not able to see that because as per the data of the World Bank, the total unemployment increased for the said period from 1.83 to 3.02%. While as per the Asian Development Bank, 2.8% of the employed people 2.5% of the employed people are living below $1.9 per US dollar purchasing power parity per day, while 24.3% or people are living below national poverty line. So which shows it an alarming situation, in a critical situation for the authorities, for the concerned authorities and for the government. That on one side, it shows a tremendous growth, while on another side, poverty has not been reduced. So from the literature and the previous study, we found that there is a lack of efficiency and sustainability in the sector, like mentioned by different researchers, Muzaffar, Mohsen, Iqbal, etc., that there is a lack of efficiency and stability. So that's why the focus of the study is on social efficiency, because it's related to the basic objective of microfinance sector more than other. Social efficiency, it represents the social consequences of the operations for the population, and it's expressed through the changes in the quality of life of the people. So formally, or in the previous study, it has been assessed mainly with the gross loan portfolio and number of active borrowers. But the problem is how to measure the effectiveness of the loan, because like as shown by the studies, different studies, there's all the people they're collecting or taking loan from microfinance sector are not supposed to be poor or poorest. Like as one study, 67% people are only poor, 33% were not the means the poorest people are the poor people. So that's why we suppose, and it's already suggested by two Mohsin and others, that gross per capita gross national income has to be used during measurement of social efficiency to rationalize and standardize the ratio to to measure the effectiveness of the loan and for the in poverty reduction. So and different factor like that affecting the social efficiency like stability, competition, national culture, behavior of the people, behavior of the market, interest rate, net interest margin, growth rate, repayment rate, outreach, etc. That has to be investigated, and the social and its impact has to be investigated. As we know, we see from the data, from the numbers provided, that poverty is the most critical issue until now, and microfinance is one of the most well repeated and well recognized tool to reduce poverty. On one side, microfinance shows a tremendous growth, while on the other side, poverty has not been reduced. So that's why, based on previous studies and literature, we need to re-examine, reinvestigate the social efficiency of microfinance providers with respect to different factors that affecting the microfinance sectors. Ladies and gentlemen, that's conclude my presentation for today. I hope my research can contribute to the society, no matter how small, especially in the area of poverty reduction. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me your time and for having your kind attention. Moderator, thank you.